In this lesson, you will learn about one of the landforms that waves create along the coast. The main question that we're going to be answering is, how is a wave-cut platform created? Now remember, erosion is the wearing away of rocks, and there are 4 types of erosion. The first is hydraulic action, and that's when waves force air into gaps in the cliff and cause it to break under high pressure. This is a little bit like a bicycle tyre bursting if it's been filled with too much air. Imagine the waves pumping air under high pressure into the gaps in the cliff and causing it to crack and break. Abrasion is when bits of sand and rock wear away the coastline as if someone is using sandpaper to rub away the cliff face. Attrition is when rocks bang into each other and become smaller and rounder, whereas solution is when rocks dissolve into the water like sugar into hot tea. And remember, the waves are like a sculptor at work. One of the landforms created by waves is called a wave-cut platform, and here's an example. You can see the white cliffs, and at the bottom is a flat ledge which is covered in black seaweed. If you've ever been rock pooling by the seaside, you've walked along a wave-cut platform. Now this photo was taken at low tide. When it's high tide, the sea would be at the bottom of the cliffs and would be eroding away at the bottom of those cliffs. The area with the seaweed would be covered by the sea. I'm going to use a diagram to explain what happens with the formation of a wave-cut platform, and I've posted another video with an explanation that's at the bottom of these cliffs in this photo. Here's our diagram then. This diagram is of a cliff from the side, so you're looking at this side on. You can see the ocean in the bottom right corner, or the sea. I've labelled it the sea in the bottom right hand corner, and the cliff is shaded in brown. There are different shades of brown to show the position that the cliff used to be in, as the processes of erosion are causing the cliff to erode away, which is indicated by the red arrow at the top of the diagram. That's showing the direction of erosion. Okay, it all starts with destructive waves crashing into the coastline and eroding away the bottom of the cliff. Now that happens between the high tide and the low tide levels. In the diagram, the sea's at the low tide level, but I've shown you where the high tide would be. When the waves are crashing against the cliff face between the high and the low tide at the base of the cliff, it's being eroded by hydraulic action, abrasion, and solution. Through these processes, the base of the cliff will gradually erode away. The eroded material is then washed back out to sea by the backwash of the waves. This process continues and occurs over and over again, forming a wave-cut notch at the bottom of the cliff. And we can see here where the wave-cut notch is. The wave-cut notch gets bigger and bigger, undercutting the cliff above it. Eventually, the overhang is too great, and due to the force of gravity, the cliff is unstable and so it collapses. This ongoing process will cause the cliff to retreat, and over time it will move further and further inland, as shown by the red arrow, and it will leave a wave-cut platform where the bottom of the cliff used to be. The wave-cut platform is exposed at low tide, and the wave-cut platform slopes gently towards the sea. Okay, so to recap, there are 4 types of erosion. These types of erosion lead to a wave-cut notch at the bottom of a cliff between the high and the low tide points. The wave-cut notch undercuts the cliff, which then collapses under the force of gravity, and over time the cliff retreats inland, exposing a wave-cut platform, which is visible at low tide. Let's go back and have a look at the exposed wave-cut platform, exposed at low tide. And you can see at the bottom of those cliffs, you can see where the sea has been wearing away at the bottom of those cliffs. You can also see there's caves that have been caused by the erosion at the bottom of the cliffs. And you can see that where the seaweed starts in the bottom right hand corner, that's where the cliff would have been thousands of years ago. The cliff would have come all the way up to that point, but it's been eroded backwards by the sea. Okay, so your task, this should only take you about 15 minutes. What I'd like you to do is draw and label your own diagram showing the stages in the formation of a wave-cut platform, and just take a photo of your work with your phone and then upload it to show my homework so that I can see it. Please also check out the video which I've posted from the guys from Time for Geography. I think you'll really enjoy it. Okay, see you next time.